We all know that if you don't pay attention to certain red flags, they will destroy your relationship down the road. The problem is, sometimes we turn a blind eye because it's nice to feel like you found love, rather than thinking this isn't real love. However, if you keep brushing off that thought, when deep down in your gut you know something is wrong, later on you will always find yourself going, I wish I would have just saw these signs on day one. It would have saved me so much time and energy. In the beginning, you might overlook some of these red flags because you really like each other and there are so many highs compared to the lows. You might think, some of these signs are not a big deal, or it will get better if we just spend more time together. But here's the thing. The honeymoon phase will eventually go away, and the little hiccups that you didn't mind at first are now a repeated pattern of problems. These red flags are the reasons why you're gonna have to leave the relationship. So to avoid building a toxic relationship, stay till the end so you can be aware of all the red flags and pay close attention.
Number 1, endless stories of their crazy exes. When you have been together for some time, it is natural for their past experiences and relationships to come up in a conversation. We don't need to pretend like they didn't happen because that's what makes us who we are today. In fact, learning about someone's past or pain could be an important step to build an emotional intimacy. However, when someone says, "Oh, my exes are crazy," there's a high chance that you're going to end up making it on the list as the latest example. When it was all their ex's fault the relationship fell out and they're never in wrong, what they're doing in a relationship is, instead of looking at things that they can change, they would rather turn the conversation into a blame game and not really taking an initiative on having a constructive plan on making the relationship better. That means that at the first sign of conflict that you're gonna have, they will turn their back on you and see it as your flaw. Without being able to have honest and open communication to resolve problems together, there is no future. Every relationship takes two people, whether it's a healthy one or unhealthy one. It is crucial for anybody to be aware that you do contribute to it one way or another. So let's say all their exes are actually crazy or toxic. In that case, that could be the kind of people or the relationship pattern that they're drawn to. So even if you have the best intention of building a healthy relationship with them, they will test you and see if they can turn you into the kind of crazy they're secretly looking for. This is a perfect recipe for an unhealthy relationship and attachment issues.
Number 2, emotional unavailability. We all have insecurities and trauma. I do, you do, and so does your partner. While we can empathize with their pain and the past, we need to remember that they can still be held accountable for the present and how much they commit to having a happy and healthy relationship with you. It's not an easy thing for people to do, to face their pain or acknowledge their behaviors. It might even be a long journey for some of us, but if you're willing or unwilling to do the work, it's a huge difference. Your basic needs of wanting to be loved need to be heard and acknowledged, and they have to do the best they possibly can to provide that for you. We know nobody's perfect, but it's about showing up. If they constantly make you feel ashamed or guilty for wanting to have your basic needs met, they are not ready to take initiative on making a change and being a more emotionally available person for you. That emotional unavailability stops your relationship from growing a healthy bond based on honesty and vulnerability, and that kind of relationship is not going to last.
Number 3, different values and goals. This one might seem like an obvious, but surprisingly, a lot of us find out what we really value in life throughout the relationship, especially when we start to have conflicts with our partner. Everyone has a goal and vision of what your life would look like in future, but barely has an opportunity to put it into words, so much in detail to be able to present and compare it with other people's visions. So be clear with what your core values are and what you want in life. Consider things like how many kids you want, when do you want to have kids, how do you want to raise them, where to live, financial planning, your religion, political views, relationship boundaries, family boundaries, anything that is important to you. Not that you have to match with everything, but some overlaps will definitely make it easier for the relationship to work. Just because you spend more time together doesn't mean you'll be able to change your partner to think or feel the way you do. So if you decide to be with someone who has different goals and values on these big things, at one point you have to come to terms or you have to accept that. Or if these things are so important and crucial for you to be the way you want it to be and you won't be able to adjust things to meet in the middle, that is obviously going to start big conflicts down the road. The relationship dynamic is going to be about you versus me or who is more right. So as the relationship goes into a little bit more serious phase, these things need to be talked about rather than finding out later and letting the relationship fall apart after the resentment being built for so long.
Number 4, not feeling prioritized. Do they take a long time to return your call or text? Or when you get a hold of them, they say, my phone wasn't by me, almost every single time? The truth is, nobody is ever too busy for the people that really matter to them. If they're not willing to give you undivided attention, even if it's just for a few minutes, it's very unlikely that they will be there to build a deep, meaningful, and lasting connection, which takes time. In any relationship, mutual respect and commitment is necessary from both sides. And if that is one-sided or unbalanced, there will be burnout, resentment, and ultimately affect your self-esteem. If they say their life is too crazy right now, then clearly they do not have room to start building a connection with you. Being at different stages of life is a big factor in success of being able to merge two lifestyles together. If you miss spotting the difference or failed to have a conversation about it earlier in the relationship, this could create a huge gap between the two of you.
Number 5, moves too quickly. When you meet someone and have that initial spark, it's exciting. You can't sleep thinking about them, want to spend every minute, and you just really want to get to know each other more and more. All that is great, but if your relationship is moving too quickly during this phase, this might be a red flag, and here's why. When you have butterflies in your stomach, what your body is doing is it's producing adrenaline. Adrenaline excites us and motivates us, which is great. But what's interesting about this chemical is it's not long lasting. That means you're going to be experiencing a lot of emotional ups and downs. That means it is better to not make big decisions or moves like engagement, moving in, or marriage during this phase while the emotions are still at all-time high. It is kind of setting yourself up for an emotional, heated conversation instead of being able to talk about things calmly and effectively. A true connection is built over time through shared experiences, mutual understanding, and even through conflicts. And all of that is required to spend some time together after that initial phase. If they are truly your person, you will find a way to be involved in each other's life without rushing anything. If for any reason you feel like you have to move things quickly to keep them interested, there is a chance that they're just looking for a relationship and not necessarily to be with you.
Number 6, unhealthy group of friends. They say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Our thoughts and actions get affected by the people that surround us. Imagine trying to start a healthy lifestyle while you hang out with people who spend time playing video games while ordering pizza and drinking beer. It's a lot harder to say no to your friends who will be like, "What's gotten into you? Don't be a weirdo. Just stay and play one more round with us." That example was about starting a healthy lifestyle. But what if it was a behavior that affected the relationship? Do any of your partner's close friends have a habit of bad-mouthing their partner? Or cheating, laziness, or excessive drinking? Does your partner engage in these activities just to stay a part of the group? Or they're constantly exposed to it and hang out where those behaviors are okay and accepted? Do they support your partner's growth as they're on their journey? Or do they kind of cancel them when your partner doesn't act the same way?
Have you ever dated anybody with any of these signs? Let us know your experience in comments down below. Now you know what to watch out for. Check out what the actual green flags are and know how to tell if you're with the right person. We will link it for you, but before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will not miss out on more tips. See you soon!